That feels so much more futuristic. So today we are checking out an interesting collaboration. This is the latest iQOO 9 Pro smartphone. Every phone should have that. Absolutely every phone should have that. That is such a huge improvement on this technology. But you probably caught the other branding on the package, the M Motorsport BMW Premium Partner. So if you're familiar with the M branding, you're gonna have the stripes, you're going to have the distinctive design right out of the package. People are gonna know what they're looking at. There is an actual motorized gimbal inside of there. Boom, I'm recording Mo, and then I turn, and that's incredible. You have the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 chip inside, up to 512 gigs of storage, up to 12 gigs of RAM, 120 hertz, 120 watts fast charging. So, I mean, it's kind of got everything you want on the spec sheet, plus the premium styling. So let's check it out. iQuest on and on. Interesting. Look at this M styling, blue, black, and red stripes inspired by Motorsport. Plus, this back has like a kind of blasted matte finish to it. Then you have this large rectangular cutout up top. It's a triple setup, 50 megapixel plus 16 megapixels. So there is an ultra wide in here, and there's also gimbal stabilization. The power switch is also done in this BMW blue with the volume rocker just above it. You have a nice little texture on the power switch, so you can easily tell the difference between the two without looking. This thing is gonna charge crazy fast. It's like a full charge in like 20 minutes at 120 watts. Speaker unit is there, and that is your SIM tray as well. So it's a symmetrical design. They decided for the punch hole style in the middle of the display. Get that vehicle right there, wouldn't mind that. Actually, by the looks of this, it looks like they maybe sponsor the actual competition car as well. So we also get a case that continues the styling. This case actually has a little texture to it as well. So that's a bit of an upgrade over the typical included case that you'd have inside of a smartphone package. A dual SIM card slot, as well as a tiny little rubber gasket. Look at this monster. That is your 120 watt capable charge brick. They call it flash charge, and it's pretty much as fast as you're going to be recharging a smartphone in 2022. It's like under 15 minutes to 90%. Fully recharge it in like 20 minutes. I get excited by these types of things. So many of these batteries are tested for somewhere in the neighborhood of 600 cycles. They claim they can do like 1,000 cycles. Anything that makes a device a little bit more distinctive or have some personality is something that I like to check out. Check out the red, white, and blue in the background. I can tell it's a fast refresh already. We can have resolution here up to 3200 by 1440. This is obviously a battery life decision. I'm just gonna go ahead and lock it into 120, which is ultra high. 120 is a beautiful thing, and it's what you would want on your flagship. This is a pretty slender little camera cutout, and then also we have a pretty aggressive curvature around the sides of the device. It doesn't feel incredibly enormous in your hand because it curves around the edges and gives you a really slim grip where you actually end up holding it. So prices are starting just past $800, which when you look at this spec sheet and compare is actually pretty impressive, especially when you're talking about a 12 gigabyte RAM device. That's the 256 model. You can get up to 512 gigs of storage if you want. You've got the Snapdragon that you want, you've got the res that you want, you've got the 120 hertz that you want, and you've got the 120 watt charging that you want. There's a couple of different 120s in there. So the screen is actually 6.78 inches, and the battery spec is 4,700 milliamp hours. There's a couple of different custom wallpapers to choose from. Probably the stock one is the coolest. So the fingerprint scanner, apparently to register it, it only takes like one touch. And then you can adjust the size of the region for the unlock. So see how large the region is? I'm gonna go and input my finger. Check this out. That's it. One touch registration. That feels so much more futuristic. Done. And then check this out. Look how big the region is for the unlock. That is so much more satisfying and so fast.
Wow.
Let's try a different finger. Nothing.
Oh,
It's a huge region, man.
That's crazy.
Every phone should have that. Absolutely every phone should have that. That is such a huge improvement on this technology. I'll just be here for a while just testing that. Mo, how many different phones have we unlocked with the fingerprint? Mo!
A few.
Oh my God. It is so superior. And the registration is so superior. Yeah, look at this. Fingerprint unlocking area. So I can actually adjust it in here. If for some crazy reason I want it to be smaller, I can do that. You also have some different animation styles. Ooh, that one's kind of cool. Let's try. Oh, there's even more. Get real fancy with it. Let me try this one. That one's more subtle. It's so addictive.
Yeah.
That is absolutely well done. That is the most impressive fingerprint unlock in display, probably that I've ever tested. So you can see your three options from 1x to 2.5 zoom all the way down to 0.6 on the wide side of things. HDR looks to be working automatically. 1x, 2.5, 0.6. There's also a fisheye, asteroid, and rabbit hole. Ooh. Broken brain. If you want to use the full 50 megapixels, then you have to head into your alternative camera options. There is an actual motorized gimbal inside of there. Still a fairly rare thing to have. You can adjust it from standard to ultra. This is ultra stabilization. This is a quick test of the ultra stabilization. Where are you going? Where are you going? Where are you going? Where did you go? Super Anti-Shake Pro. There are so many different stabilization options here. Oh, horizontal line, so it can lock the horizon. Boom, I'm recording Mo, and then I turned, and that's incredible. I'm still recording Mo. Perfect. Yes, I love the horizon lock. Yeah, gimbals can do things. You can do things with gimbals. To see them in smartphones is pretty wild. That's pretty cool. Actually, it's a great selfie. It will shoot up to 8K 30 frames, which is unusual because a lot of devices that support 8K, they tap out at 24 frames. So the stabilization setup is depending on the resolution you pick. And so you're gonna get different stabilization options depending on whether you wanna shoot 8K, 4K, or 1080. So keep that in mind.
Percent increase in VR-related insurance claims. Since 2016, there have been 68% overall increase in VR-related injuries. Yes, of course.
You know, if you have a BMW, like any M car, I think you pretty much have to get this phone. And that's why Flossie Carter has to use this phone now, because he has an M car. Like never mind everything else. Like the fingerprint scanner is just so satisfying.